Y'all know it's mean and we getting ready to go deep. Anyway, Hohenheim shows up at the mother's grave. What you call him, Ed just happened to be visiting and he sees him and he's like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So Hohenheim goes to talk to, what's her name? Panico, whatever, the old lady name at the old lady that raised Winry. And he asks her, is the body that Ed and Al transmuted, is that really their moms? And he asked that question. I think he wanted Edward to hear. So anyway, Edward goes digs up the body and finds out it's not their mom's body. Now that leaves a couple possibilities. The first question is, whose body was it? What happened? Why wasn't mom's body transmuted? Third is, the answer. Maybe you can't bring people's soul back. That's logical. And that this body that transmuted, it just happened to be the transmutation of whatever they had, the materials they had, in the possessions that they used to transmute the body. Ed makes up this theory where he feels like maybe I'm short because I'm sustaining Al's body. So that's the theory. And he comes up with this plan to fight Scar to lure out the Homunculus. They're gonna capture the Homunculus and try to see if they can get some answers out of him. And they find out he was kidnapped. Man. So what are they using this doctor for? Ed finds out for 100% sure that Scar is the one who killed Winry's parents. He killed Mufasa, he killed Winry's parents, and he just started killing state alchemists. I mean, after Mufasa, he just couldn't stop. I don't know why, but I guess he got the thirst for blood. Then Lin and Lan is trying to help, capture one of these homunculus. Then they find Gluttony. Now, these guys are skilled. Lin and Lan was putting them down. But here comes, Bradley. Uh-oh. Dude comes in swinging. He cut off her arm or whatever. Like, he didn't cut it all the way off, but I guess he cut the tendon or something like that. She couldn't use her arm. So, Lin captures, Gluttony. Ed and Al, actually, they got, them on the ropes. They got Scar on the rope. Hawkeye comes in. You already know Hawkeye's my girl. She just puts a bullet in him. She just slides through on that car and just says, bam! And dude's leg is gone. She's bad. I'm telling you, she's bad with that gun. But then in the nick of time, May shows up. The little girl with the panda. She shows up and she's like, hold on. She's like, hold on now. She's protecting Scar. She doesn't know. She's trying to find immortality just like Lin. My guess is that her and Lin is related somehow. I think she must be one of the other kids from the dad or whatever. And they're like duking it out to see who's going to become the next emperor or whatever. Anyway, she comes in to help Scar and whatnot, and she's like holding the fort down. I was like, man. And you find that she can fight and she can use alchemy. Now, her alchemy that she used was a little bit different. When the people showed up, like some more guards showed up, she was like, they got us surrounded. And when she said that, it was so cute, man. I was like, oh, man. I was just like, I was just like that. But anyway, she draws like a transmutation circle on the ground with a foot and then launches out these kunais that hit the target in the shape of the transmutation circle. Now, she can also transmute at a distance by doing that. So she transmuted at a distance and made a little smoke screen for them to get out. That was off the chain. I can't lie. I like that fight sequence from start to finish. Winry kinda at this time realizing that she got feelings for Ed. But anyway, we head on over to this other doctor's house. I can't remember the doctor's name, but they take Gluttony there. Lin and Lan escape Raph by using Bradley, by using Lan's arm and putting it on a dog and send them on a wild goose chase basically. So from that point, they go to the doctor's house and they got Gluttony and they're talking about what's going on. They know that Bradley's a homunculus now, and they trying to figure out what are we going to do from this point out. And they're going to try to get some answers from what's his name, Gluttony. Gluttony finds out because they're talking that Roy killed Lust, and he goes berserk. He said, "You killed Lust," and that's what brings me to what I was saying before. I think Bradley might turn to the good side because they were showing his backstory about how he used to be a human and how And how gluttony has feelings for lust. So that means that they can feel the same emotion that humans feel. And they kept saying that we're just like humans, you know, in a certain sense, our bodies like humans and blah, blah, blah. So that makes me think Raph is going to turn, and plus his son, you can see the love Raph has for his son. So that makes me think he's going to flip and he's going to go to the good side at a certain point. Plus, he's the only different one out of the Homunculus. He's the only one who's aging. He's the only one who doesn't have all these secret kind of powers. He just got like one power and that's it. But he's nice. So, and he showed mercy a couple times. Like when he left Roy or whatever, he could have killed them at that point, but he didn't. So that makes me think he's going to flip. You see the love, and that story that his son told him, oh man, did that pull at your heartstrings? He was like, my dad's the best dad in the world. Man, that telling me he's going to flip. So when Gluttony busts out the house, man, this is one of my favorite parts. The doctor, as soon as he seen it, he said, let's get out of here. And they said, we got to fight Gluttony and protect blah, blah, blah. And Al said, we're going to go after Gluttony. He said, cool, now let's get out of here, right? Roy, he's in no condition to fight. And he said, let's hurry up and go. So he's in the car, and Hawkeye's talking to him. He said, I don't want to hear all that stuff. He said, we got to go. We got to go now. And he's like, he said, I'm just a regular civilian. He said, I'm not dying for this. He said, I ain't dying for nobody. And Envy shows up to try to alleviate the situation. He doesn't want Gluttony to accidentally kill, you know, Ed or Al or whoever, because that's going to mess up the plan. So he goes in and, you know, to help out. Now he faces off with Lynn. Lynn is showing his skills. In the midst of all this, Gluttony accidentally swallows Envy, Ed, and Lynn. Also, they're in his stomach. So we cut back to Roy. Roy makes it back to HQ. He goes to Raven. And he knows Bradley is one of these homunculus, so he tries to get the information to Raven. He said, you know, some rumors going around that, you know, people are peeing in the sinks and they using that same telephone booth, you know, as a bathroom, and we got to do something about this. And also one other thing, Bradley may be a homunculus. And then Raven's like, yeah, whatever. He said, you know what? I'm doing something in this room. I need you to come help me check this out. He said, come dig this real quick. And Roy goes in there, right? He says, go ahead and tell him. Tell him how you said Bradley is a homunculus. And he said, damn. He said, they got me. They got me. That was just completely out of the box. The reason why I say that was out of the box because with Bradley being a homunculus, that's all you need. So we're not under the suspicion that everybody. It's only two other hints that can lead you to that possibility. When Maze goes to the telephone and he says, no, I'm not going to use the telephone at HQ. That's one hint. Another hint is when they was making chimeras. It's like a little bit of corruption. So that could have led you to it, but that wasn't enough for you to concretely say that the whole the top dogs in the whole HQ was in on this, man. And that just got me. When Bradley came out, he said, so what if I'm a homunculus? He said, is that really a big deal? He said, is that a big deal? And Roy was like, that is a big deal. And he said, Maze found this out. This is why they got him. This is why they got him. But he couldn't do anything. He was stuck. And the way Bradley and them played it out is they had hostages. They split everybody up. They said if you do this, this person died, and they can't say because everybody's split up in different sectors. So they got Bradley, Ed, and Al, under their thumb. I was like, oh man, the pyramid is getting bigger, and the plot just thickens. The plot is just thickening. So Envy is talking to, Lynn and Ed. And they're talking, and Envy says, you know what this place is? He said, you've been here before. He said, what are you talking about? I've never been in this place. He said, it's the truth. The place that the truth is in, it's not. It's a copy that the father tried to make, but he failed. So it's sort of like it. It said the truth isn't there, and those doors isn't there. It's just like an empty space, basically. And he said there's no escape. He said, we're just going to have to die here. He said, ain't no escaping. We just going to die here. Life sentence, bruh. And Ed gets mad at Envy because Envy reveals he started the war. So when Envy revealed that, Ed and Lynn is going after Envy. Envy is like, okay. He said, well, I guess I can kill you guys now because we're gonna die anyway. He turned to his true form, which is this giant lizard full of people and whatnot. And he found out those are the souls of the people that they was using to make philosopher's stones. And Ed couldn't bring himself to kill one of those things, even though they pretty much almost dead. They're pretty much really dead because their bodies are long gone. It's been hundreds of years, so they're gone. And Envy, I mean, he just tears Ed and Lynn a new one. Just tears them up, which is a good thing. So Ed is getting tossed around again. And that means that I mean, come on, look at Envy. Envy is just supposed to win that fight. Envy was just supposed to win that fight, and he pulled it off. He pulled it off. But when Envy is getting ready to kill Ed realizes when they was walking through that place, they seen that stone. He realizes that it was the transmutation circle, and realized that that's the truth. And he had got out the truth. He'd been in the truth before, and he came out the truth, but he didn't come out the failed one. He said, maybe if I open up a gateway to the real truth, we can come out through there. And then the guy said, but then when you have to transmute a person and lose their soul, he said, what I'll do is break myself down and regenerate myself. And since I'm regenerating myself, my soul will go back into my original body. And they made it out. But guess what? Al was going back to see Father to basically try to see if there's a way that Father can get Ed outside of Gluttony, because he knows that they need him, so maybe it will work. And so when Envy and Lynn and Ed come up out of Gluttony, they're right in front of Father, and they're looking at him like, Hohenheim. He said, no, I'm not Hohenheim. Now, when Ed was escaping Gluttony, he sees Al's body is still stuck at the truth place or whatever, that little realm. It's still stuck and it's still surviving. So that pretty much kind of confirms that Ed is keeping Al alive, keeping his body alive. So we cut back to Ed and them. Now Ed is all busted up from Envy. Father heals Ed and Al. I mean, he don't even have to all you gotta do is think about it, he can use alchemy. And then he's breaking the laws of equivalent exchange. That was like awesome. Now when you see him use alchemy, he doesn't even put his hands together, nothing. He just, boom, it's done. It's done. He even got to tell you it's done. It's done. Before he even finishes, it's done. Now, when they get in there, May, that little girl, she start putting in mad work too. And they start to realize, they're like, something ain't right. The Father shut off, everybody's alchemy. He shuts off Ed and Al's alchemy. But yet, Scar and May can still use it. What's up with that? They are directly under the HQ, directly connected to the HQ. So that whole conspiracy goes the plot thickens. They're even, the whole country is basically being ran by Father. In the meantime, when Lynn was fighting Father and he was telling him all that garbage, the BS, Father was like, man, this dude got a lot of fighting spirit in him. He said, you know what? He might be useful. He makes him the new Greed. But Lynn accepts it, saying that this is what he wanted because this is the key way to immortality. And he wanted to use that, to become the emperor or whatever of his country. And he let greed take over his body. But at the same time, he let greed take over his body, but he thinks that he can overpower greed at a certain point in time. So he's still fighting greed. Scar actually is still lurking around, and he finds where the Homunculus got Dr. Marco hidden. And Dr. Marco says, Anish Balin, and he said, man, guess what? I was the one who helped kill some of your people. We found out Dr. Marco was using, people to make philosopher's stones, but he was involved in the making of philosopher's stones by, destroying all these different people and whatnot. And Scar, he wants him dead, but he says, yo, tell me what happened. I need to find out more information on this stuff. And later on, we see Envy walk up in the room, and he finds out Marco's head is busted off, and all you see in blood is the word vengeance. So, did Scar kill Marco? And that's where we leave off. I mean, the plot just keeps getting thicker and thicker. I mean, I'm enjoying every episode. I haven't had the dull moment yet. So anyway, I'm going to hit y'all up with the next, review and the next analysis of what I'm, of the next few episodes when I come back at y'all. You can go ahead and comment, rate, subscribe, and I'm out.